Z, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the steamship Hatterprize. Its 5-year mission: to explore new seas, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before. What the fuck is that? Nope, I'm done, nope, I'm out, sorry, nope. Welcome to the beautiful and macabre world of the Neath and its great sunless sea. A game that, if I had to describe it, is kind of like Moby Dick with a healthy spoonful of eldritch horror. Actually, that's pretty apt. Sunless Sea is an exploration game with a lot of narrative adventure elements thrown in. It features you, a daring Z captain, a title that I might add is romantically apocalyptic, and your sailors traveling out into the Untersee in search of glory, secrets, treasure, giant crabs, or whatever else your heart might desire. With this premise, the game basically just gives you the wheel and says, go nuts, do whatever you want. And this is where the game really shines. It encourages you to explore the very deep and living world around it. As part of the Untersee, exploration is fun and handled really well. You're incentivized through fragments granted for finding new things, which allow you to form secrets and improve your statistics, and port reports, which allow you to collect a tidy sum of the game's currency echoes back in London. Each of the places you explore also has its own stories, and the lore and adventures in these places is amazing. Arriving on an island, stopping in a port often leads you to a narrative, choose-your-own-adventure style tale that can yield all kinds of things, and they're amazingly well written. Owing to the game's huge repository of lore, in the form of the preceding Fallen London project, these stories are immersive and even change as time passes, adding new tidbits and events, encouraging you to check back on your favorite islands from time to time. This adds a whole bunch of replayability to the game. The stories have all sorts of possible branches, and they can often go different ways on different playthroughs with different characters. Not that you won't encounter the same story more than once. There are a lot of events and conclusions that can be completely different from captain to captain. Oh, and there will be many captains, for death is always stalking just over your shoulder in the Untersee. You will die, and you will die often. Though I made it pretty deep with a single captain, I did eventually lose him when the game's enigmatic and unknowable god creatures decided to troll the shit out of me because, you know, for laughs, and throw me to the other side of the map with no food or fuel, let me starve and die. But this isn't a bad thing. Your previous captain's legacy expands to your subsequent captains, and certain items, money, and even crew members can be left to those who follow in your footsteps. Boat steps. Water step. The downside of this amazing exploration aspect to me has to be the combat, though. And you'll encounter things like sea beasts and pirates as you adventure through the seas. These encounters tend to vary between boring and downright frustrating. I quickly reached a point where I wanted to avoid these encounters altogether. Combat centers on your crew forming a firing solution with your guns. This is done by keeping an enemy within your firing arcs of your various weapons, and it can be done quicker if you're able to keep them within the light on your ship. This system means most of the fights just become kind of ring around the rosies with each other, where you're occasionally firing bolts at your enemies. Allow me to demonstrate exactly what I mean by slow and kind of boring combat. The following clip has been sped up by 3 times. Did that look fun? Nah, I didn't think so. This sure ain't no black flag! It also means when you're facing off against multiple enemies, it's almost impossible to avoid their attacks. The prime way of avoiding taking damage, and you will want to avoid taking damage, as ship damage can be extremely dangerous and difficult to repair, is to stay behind your target. But the enemy AI sometimes can't even deal with it, and just kind of wiggles slowly, trying to get away, as you literally ram the prow of your ship up their ass. There are moments when the combat is very tense and rewarding and fun, but these are unfortunately few and far between. Though the combat is a small enough factor in the game that it's just a relatively minor tarnish on what is otherwise a fantastic narrative experience. There's so much depth to this game, it's tough to cover it all. The game feels like a beautiful collection of short stories in a deeply and fully realized setting, filled with odd characters and strange scenes, and bizarre and chilling tales that seem to have come straight off Lovecraft's pen. A true game about exploration where discovery is its own reward. If you're a fan of narrative gameplay, this game will probably keep you hooked for a very long time. Get it? Get it? Hooked? Hooked, because it's in the sea, and there's lots of depth. The game's got a lot of depth because it's in the sea, and it's funny because it's an ocean pun, and that's funny. Thanks for coming down and checking out my first impressions of Sunless Sea, a game that I haven't been able to stop playing for like a week now. If you enjoy this kind of thing, come on down to the Orange Hatter channel, like and subscribe. Or if you want, you can check out some of the other stuff I do with the annotations at the top. Thanks, and I'll see you around. Get it? It's another ocean pun. See you as in see. I'll stop.